Charlene of Monaco, a princess with an extraordinary destiny and a loving mother, continues to fascinate the world. Behind the official images of ceremonies and solemn appearances alongside Prince Albert, hides a deeply human woman, marked by a career that combines sporting glory, strict protocol, and personal challenges. This portrait reveals a multifaceted Charlene, a princess with a fragile gaze and formidable inner strength, a sometimes controversial wife, but above all a protective mother who places her twins, Prince Jacques and Princess Gabriella, at the center of her universe. Before becoming a Monegasque legend, Charlene was an accomplished athlete. Born in Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, and raised in South Africa, she established herself as a talented swimmer in her teens, collecting titles and attracting international attention. Her sporting career reached its peak when she competed in the Sydney Olympic Games in 2000, a symbol of the discipline and determination that would shape her personality. It was during a competition that she crossed paths with Prince Albert of Monaco, a decisive moment that changed her life and propelled her into the media arena. Their encounter gradually turns into a romance, watched closely by the entire world. The press scrutinizes every appearance, every smile, every silence, trying to unravel the mystery of this relationship between a coveted bachelor sovereign and a sportswoman unfamiliar with the monarchical codes. The royal wedding, celebrated in 2011, becomes a global event, watched by millions of television viewers. The images of the sumptuous ceremony in the main courtyard of the prince's palace have left their mark on the history of Monaco. Yet, from the very first moments, a veil of mystery surrounds the bride, some of whose photos show her to be moved, sometimes seen as distant, as if adapting to her new role is more difficult than expected. Having become a princess, Charlene must juggle her South African origins, her discreet temperament, and the immense expectations her title arouses. She finds herself thrust into a world where every gesture is scrutinized, where traditions and protocol demand implacable discipline. Far from being just a decorative figure, she is involved in causes close to her heart, notably the fight against drowning and raising awareness of water safety through her foundation. Her athletic past thus becomes a humanitarian mission, giving her image a deeply committed dimension. But behind the guilt and appearances, Charlene's life is marked by hardships. Her health, weakened in recent years, becomes a subject of public concern. Her prolonged absence from the Rock, while she stays in South Africa for medical reasons, fuels rumors and speculation. The media reports tensions within the royal couple, some question her true happiness, while others emphasize her desire to rebuild her life away from the spotlight. Yet, beyond the controversies, Charlene shows herself above all to be a devoted mother. Her children, Jacques and Gabriella, occupy a central place in her life. She accompanies them in their first public appearances, always attentive, sometimes emotional, transmitting a part of her courage and her love. Each tender gesture, each smile exchanged, reveals a woman who places her motherhood above all else. For her, the true throne is that of the heart, where the protection and education of her children take precedence over protocol. This maternal dimension strengthens her bond with the public. Many identify with her fragility, her absences and her return, like a constant struggle to reconcile duty and intimacy. She thus becomes a modern princess, very different from the frozen image of fairy tales, because her struggles are real, her tears sincere and her silences sometimes heavy with meaning. Charlene embodies this duality, at once a state figure and a woman in search of balance, a public figure and a discreet mother, a tragic heroine for some, a source of inspiration for others. Her elegance, often praised during her official appearances, also reflects a desire to reinvent herself, to show the world that, despite the storms, she remains standing, faithful to her role and her convictions. In a world where European monarchies must reinvent themselves to remain relevant, Charlene of Monaco represents this transformation. She is not just a smiling princess on a balcony, she is a woman of her time, confronted with doubts and wounds, but also driven by a rare resilience. Her trajectory illustrates the difficulty but also the beauty of blending personal destiny and institutional function. Her relationship with Albert, despite the rumors, endures in a unique union where each finds their place. He is sovereign, she is support and mother of the heirs. The public, torn between fascination and compassion, follows each step of her journey with intensity. Throughout her story, Charlene ultimately embodies a universal lesson. Behind the crowns and titles, princesses are first and foremost women, facing the same torments as everyone else, but exposed to the world's gaze. And it is undoubtedly this truth that makes her so captivating. Because, ultimately, the question remains, will Charlene of Monaco succeed in transforming her fragility into a lasting strength to write her own legend within the principality? Subscribe, share, and comment on the video to discover more untold stories of royalty.